Welcome to Dark Stories for Scary Kids. This week's episode, The Lights. Enjoy. Once upon a time, there was a girl who was scared of the dark. She dreaded going to bed, as she knew once her parents went to bed, that her father would go through and shut all the lights in the house off one by one, letting the darkness in switch flick by switch flick. In the mornings, she would tell her sister, "I hear odd things at night. I hate it when this house gets dark at night." Her sister would laugh. "There is nothing to fear," she would boast. "You're letting your imagination run wild. There is nothing in the dark to fear." But still, the girl would worry and fidget in the night, fighting to keep her eyes closed to the darkness around her, scared of it seeping in, listening to every bump and creak of the house until she would eventually fall asleep. So one day, the girl approached her father and said, "Father, I would like to keep one light on at night, so that I may see during the night time." But her father said no. "No, little one, being afraid of the dark is a child's habit. You are a woman. You have no reason to fear the dark." But still she pleaded, "Please, please, Father, just one light. Just the one right down the hall." Her father sighed and looked at her. "Fine, but just one for tonight," he said. She cheered and for once was excited to go to bed. So as night came, the girl prepared herself, cleaning her room, dressing her teddy bears and making sure everything was just right. But when she went to sleep, she found that she felt even more scared. The lights showing all the shadows and dark corners in her room that had once been hidden in the darkness. She tried to ignore it, and to be an adult like her father had told her, but as she turned and faced the wall, blocking the shadows from her view, she heard a noise, footsteps, lightly paddling the floorboards, like a child's, accompanied by an odd, scratching sound. As morning came, the girl found the courage to get out of bed and check down the hallway. Nothing was there but the still burning light. The girl went to her father, saying, "Father, I heard sounds last night. I want another light on tonight." Her father huffed, "You are a woman, little one. You don't need one light at your age, and certainly not two." "Please, Father," she begged, "just two lights tonight. I promise it will be the last time." So her father agreed, "Fine, but just for tonight." So the girl went to bed once more, waiting for sleep to come again. But once the night had settled, and as the clock ticked on, the girl heard the noise again. Light footsteps, faint scratching. She leaned up in bed, looking to all the new shadows and dark corners in her room. "I need more light," she said to herself, until a shadow passed by the door. The girl fell asleep, but she couldn't remember when. Surely sometime in the wee hours of the morning. She kept replaying it in her head. The shadows in her room, the lights, and the figure who passed by the door. So the girl gave it one last try. She would no longer sleep in the darkness, and she certainly wouldn't share her room with shadows anymore. "Father," she said, "I want to sleep with my light on." Her father chuckled. "Goodness, girl, with the lights on in your room, you will barely sleep at all." "I don't care," she said. "I will no longer sleep in the dark." Her father went quiet for a moment. "No, little one, it is time you were strong. Tonight, you will sleep in the dark." The girl raged and raged, but her father would not relent. The house would be dark that night. So as she lay pretending to sleep, and as she heard her father turn each light in the house off, she wondered, "If he could turn them off, surely I could turn them on." So once her father had fallen asleep, she crept from her bed and out into the hall. The girl went through the house as quietly as she could and turned on every light. She returned to her bedroom proud of herself, ready to sleep unburdened when she heard a noise behind her, light footsteps and faint scratching. The girl ran and hid under her blankets, hoping it would all be a dream. She listened and listened. The house was silent. She peeked out from under the covers. She looked around her in the brightly lit room until she saw the door. Peeking through the crack of the door, she saw a man's eye staring at her.
Can you see me?
The girl froze in fear, lost for words and thought. The man opened the door, revealing the rest of his figure. He was tall and skinny, his form covered from head to toe in black and red burns and blotches of rot. His arms so long that his hands hung down by his tiny, child-sized feet, his fingernails scratching the floor as he walked. He entered the room and stood over the girl.
Thank you, my dear, for giving me more light so I may see what is most important to me,
he said, through rotted vocal cords. See what? The girl asked through her fear.
to see you, my dear.